Have you ever been in this situation? I obviously ate very lightly at night, and my blood sugar was not high after meals, so I tested it before going to bed, and everything was normal. But when I woke up in the morning and measured my fasting blood sugar, why did it soar again? Many sugar friends left messages with me saying, "I really haven't eaten anything. Why is my blood sugar always high in the morning?" To be honest, I look anxious about this issue for you, because it can't be explained clearly by 1 or 2 sentences of exercise more and eat less sugar. Even if I answer you rashly, I may lead you in the wrong direction and end up hurting you. So today, I'm going to take some time to explain this issue clearly and thoroughly with you. Don't rush to fast forward. This matter really can't be solved by controlling your diet. There may be several completely different reasons behind the rise in fasting blood sugar. Some eat too much at night, and some eat too little at night. Some people take the wrong medicine, and some have nothing to do with eating it at all. It is the body that does things on its own. You say, is this a complicated question? But the more complicated things are, the more we can't get through them in a muddle. And when many people see fasting blood sugar over 7, their first reaction is, it's over. Is it aggravated? Is it time to refill? Is it time to change the plan? In fact, don't panic. This 7 is not a dead standard. That applies to everyone. People of different ages and physical conditions have different goals for blood sugar control. For example, some elderly people can control their blood sugar well as long as their blood sugar is stable at about 7, without major fluctuations and without affecting their lives. So don't always think about comparing numbers with others. Compare with others, and compare who lives an easy, stable, and not anxious life. In today's video, I will take you to understand 2 things in one go. First, why is fasting blood sugar high? Second, what should we do in this situation? If you have this problem yourself, or if your family is struggling with blood sugar in the morning, it is recommended that you bookmark this video, take a closer look at it empty, or forward it to someone who needs it. Perhaps a small method you learned today can help the people around you avoid a lot of detours. So let's get started. So let's first talk about whether this fasting blood sugar over 7 is considered high. In fact, if you just look at this number, you will think that 7 is a red line, as if it is dangerous once it is exceeded, but it is really not so absolute. This number is actually just a critical line that most people refer to. In other words, for the average sugar friend, it is best not to have a fasting blood sugar higher than 7, but it does not mean that a high blood sugar is equivalent to a problem, and not everyone has to control it within this number. Do you think that an old man in his 60s, with high blood pressure and poor kidney function, the doctor may want him to control his fasting blood sugar? More relaxed? Not to have low blood sugar at every turn, and not to ask him to press at 5 o'clock like a young person. So the most important thing is that you have to know, this number is just an average standard. And the fasting goal that is really suitable for you is still to let the doctor judge according to your physical condition. Don't follow the trend, and don't scare yourself. So if you do have a fasting blood sugar of more than 7, does it have to be uncontrolled? Not necessarily. I have met a lot of sugar friends who eat very carefully 3 meals a day, eat very lightly at night, exercise is also done, and blood sugar fluctuations are not large, even in the morning on an empty stomach, but I can't press down. Every time I take a test, it exceeds 7, sometimes 7.3, sometimes 7.8, or even at 8 o'clock, and then I scare myself, wondering if the medicine is not enough, whether the blood sugar has worsened. In fact, at this time, you have to ask yourself a question first. Is my blood sugar occasionally high? Or is it high every day? Are you feeling unwell these days? Still not sleeping well? Have you recently had a cold, a toothache, or a lot of stress? These hidden factors have a greater impact on blood sugar than you think. Moreover, some sugar friends will ignore a phenomenon that is, I didn't eat much at night, but my blood sugar was higher the next day. Have you ever encountered this situation? For example, you ate a small bowl of porridge and a little vegetable for dinner yesterday, and your blood sugar was not high before going to bed, But when you got up in the morning and took a test, your blood sugar soared directly, even higher than the day before. Do you immediately wonder if you are taking less medicine? Or should I add another one before bedtime? But in fact, behind this situation, it is often not enough medicine, but too much medicine. Doesn't that sound a bit winding? But this is a very common problem in clinical practice called nocturnal hypoglycemia rebound. Sometimes you eat too lightly at night and take too much medicine, and your blood sugar drops in the early hours of the morning. If it drops too low, the body will instead activate the self-protection mechanism, releasing some glycemic hormones to pull the blood sugar up, and as a result, it will rebound higher than you think in the morning. You don't feel it at all during this process, and you sleep well, but when you wake up in the morning, the blood glucose meter tells you, you were too aggressive last night, and now your blood sugar is coming back. There is also a more natural physiological response, called the dawn phenomenon. That is to say, whether you eat or not, how much or not you eat, in the hours of the morning, your body will release some hormones, such as cortisol and growth hormone, which are used to wake you up, and at the same time make your blood sugar naturally rise a little bit. This is like the body automatically refueling you so that you will not be too weak when you wake up. But the problem of sugar, friends, is our body's ability to regulate blood sugar is poor, and this normal blood sugar becomes a bit too much, and the result is that the blood sugar is high as soon as you test it in the morning. So in this case, it's not really that you're doing something wrong, it's that the body is doing something on its own. The way to deal with this is not to eat less, but to adjust the timing of the medication, or to pair it with some low GI, slow-release dinners to help you stay overnight. Of course, the most direct reason is that you don't eat the right dinner or supper. I often ask sugar friends, what did you eat last night? Many people will say, I didn't eat anything, I just ate something light. When I asked carefully, it turned out to be white porridge with pickles, or noodles with some greens. You may seem light, but in fact, these things have a high glycemic index, and lack protein and dietary fiber. The result is that the blood sugar rises quickly and falls slowly, and it may still be high in the middle of the night, and it will continue directly into the next morning. This kind of eating method is very easy to ignore, especially the older generation thinks that white porridge nourishes the stomach and pickles are appetizing, and the result is high blood sugar in the morning. Another kind of accidental blood sugar rise is unreasonable bedtime meals. Some people are worried about low blood sugar at night, especially those who are older and take a lot of medicine, and will choose to eat something before bedtime. But what to eat and how much to eat, this is really particular. Some people add a glass of milk and 2 soda crackers before going to bed, which sounds like nothing, but it adds up to a lot of calories. If your blood sugar itself is not low before going to bed, so that with 1+, your blood sugar is basically at a high level at night, and it will not be low when you test it the next day. There are also people who really have low blood sugar at night, so they get up and eat quickly, but they are so hungry that they eat several things in one go, and then lie down to sleep after eating, and their blood sugar is so raised. It's true that you say that you saved low blood sugar, but you should also be careful not to overdo it. Another point that many people don't think of easily is, did you sleep well? You may think that your blood sugar is taken by eating and medicinal, and it has nothing to do with sleeping, but in fact, not sleeping well is a big problem. Studies have found that severe insomnia, frequent awakenings, and snoring will cause the sympathetic nervous system in the body to be excited, which in turn will promote the secretion of hormones such as adrenaline, and as a result, your blood sugar will rise unconsciously. Moreover, if you don't sleep well for a long time, you will be less sensitive to insulin, which is insulin resistance, which is more likely to have high blood sugar in the morning. So stop thinking that insomnia at night is just bad sleep. It has a direct impact on your blood sugar the next day. There are also some friends who have been unwell recently, such as colds, coughs, toothaches, and even waist and leg pain, and they can't sleep well, which will make their blood sugar rise quietly. This state is medically called a stress state. That is, the body is in a state of tension and will actively secrete glycemic hormones to help you cope with emergencies. In this case, the increase in blood sugar is temporary. There is no need to panic, and there is no need to change the dressing immediately. But you have to know why it is high. The key is to cure the disease first, suppress the inflammation, and the blood sugar will naturally stabilize slowly. Finally, there is the most overlooked point, which is the drug factor. Some people do not take the medicine at night, or the injection is not in the right place, or the needle is too shallow, the dose is insufficient, and the insulin is not stored properly, which may cause the drug to be less effective. You think you have taken medicine and injections, but the medicine does not work at all, then of course your blood sugar can't be suppressed. In this case, it is best to go back and check the medication habits. If you are unsure, it is recommended to carefully record it the next time you take the injection or take the medicine, and see if there is a problem here. You see, behind high fasting blood sugar, it actually involves all aspects of diet, work and rest, medication, physical state, and even psychological pressure. If you just see that the number is high and blindly add medicine, it may be a headache and foot pain. What is really effective is that you sort out these possibilities step by step, check them out, and then prescribe the right medicine, so that you can really stabilize your blood sugar. Next, I will take you to see what you should do when you find that your fasting blood sugar is high. Step by step, no hurry, let's figure it out together. Next, let's talk about the main point. When you find that your fasting blood sugar is high, don't panic, and don't think about changing dressings or reducing staple foods at the first time, but first check the problem and make adjustments step by step from several angles. The first step is to test your blood sugar one more time. This step is not too troublesome. It can help you directly determine whether there is a rebound of hypoglycemia at night. You can find a day or two, take your blood sugar once at night before going to bed, and then wake up for an alarm clock around 2 o'clock at night and take another test. If you find that your blood sugar is very low in the middle of the night, such as below 4 or even close to 3, it means that your blood sugar is likely to drop too low at night, and your body has activated the stress response, which has instead pulled your blood sugar back up, causing your blood sugar to be so scary in the morning. In this case, you should not think about continuing to add medicine, but should reduce the dose of the medicine at night, or add a little low GI meal according to the actual situation, to help you stabilize your blood sugar at night, so that it does not fall suddenly, so that the blood sugar will not be bounced the next morning. The second step is the breakfast adjustment. This step is easy for many people to ignore, thinking that if your blood sugar is high, you should eat less, or even skip breakfast, but in fact, this is a big hole. If you don't eat breakfast and your body has no energy, it will make the lunch meal particularly violent, and it is easy to have low blood sugar before lunch, which stimulates the body to continue to release glycemic hormones, causing blood sugar to rise and fall. The correct way is to eat breakfast or eat, but to eat smart. The principle is to have a low GI, high protein, and control calories. For example, soy milk with whole wheat bread, or boiled eggs with a small bowl of quinoa porridge, and some green leafy vegetables. The overall calories do not exceed 300–400 kcal, which is nutritious and satiety, and will not make blood sugar soar. The key is to give you a relatively stable start, so that your blood sugar will be more stable throughout the day. As long as you can go out for a walk for about 10 minutes after eating, or do some simple resistance training, such as standing up and sitting on the spot, doing squats with your hands on the wall, and lifting mineral water bottles, even if you have 2 sets a day, you can significantly improve insulin sensitivity. Especially when fasting blood sugar is high, these 10 minutes of exercise in the morning are very meaningful, not only to help you use up excess blood sugar, but also to make your whole body wake up faster and more energetic. Studies have found that a little bit of power is more effective at stimulating insulin work than simply walking, meaning that blood sugar will reward you if you don't have to exercise vigorously and as long as you're willing to move. Then there's the adjustment of the diet throughout the day. Many people only pay attention to fasting blood sugar, but in fact, if you eat 3 meals a day unreasonably, it will also indirectly affect the fasting data of the next day. A very practical dietary suggestion is the 3-21 meal pairing method. That is, 3 servings of a meal are vegetables, especially green leafy vegetables and non-starchy vegetables. 2 servings are high-quality proteins, like fish, shrimp, tofu, and chicken breast, which are all good choices. There is also a staple food, but choose a low glycemic index, such as brown rice, quinoa, buckwheat, and whole wheat pasta, which are more stable than white rice. This diet not only controls calories, but more importantly, it can slow down the rise of blood sugar, help you reduce blood sugar fluctuations, and you will feel more full, less likely to be hungry, and less likely to overeat. In addition to diet and exercise, which everyone can think of, you must also be reminded to check those factors that are easy to be overlooked. For example, you have to ask yourself, have I been sleeping hard lately? Is it always waking up in the middle of the night, dreaming, and waking up a lot? These sleep quality problems are really the root cause of many people's inability to control blood sugar. You also have to ask, do I have inflammation somewhere, such as a toothache, cough, cold? These stress states will make your body mistakenly think that I am at war, and naturally release glycemic hormones to support the field. So blood sugar will also rise. And the question of the medicine you also have to find out, is it a few nights without taking medicine? Is it that the needle is crooked and not pushed to the end? Is it that the medicine has been kept in the refrigerator for too long and the efficacy of the medicine has decreased? Many times you think you are following the rules, but something goes wrong in the details, which can cause your blood sugar to go up and down. Again, don't always judge by impressions. If you feel that you seem to have eaten well, you shouldn't have missed any medicine. You slept well last night. These vague feelings can't really help you analyze the problem. The most reliable way to do this is to start keeping a blood sugar diary. This method may seem old-fashioned, but it's actually very effective. You can use the simplest notebook to record what you eat for 3 meals a day, how much your fasting blood sugar is before going to bed and in the morning, whether you exercise, whether you have added meals, and whether you feel unwell for 3 consecutive days. You write these down, look back at them in a few days, and you can come out with a pattern. You will find that when you eat a certain staple food, your blood sugar will soar if you don't sleep well, and if you add too much oil on one day, your blood sugar will rise the next day. At this time, you will no longer rely on guessing to control blood sugar, but use data and observation to manage scientifically. And when you really feel that you have done everything you can and your blood sugar is still unreasonably high, then you can use this blood sugar diary to go to the doctor. With this data, the doctor can quickly help you determine what went wrong, without you having to do a lot of tests and talk about a lot of details. He can quickly help you adjust your medication regimen or diet rhythm by looking at the relationship between blood sugar fluctuations and diet and exercise, so as to avoid detours. In the final analysis, fasting blood sugar is not the enemy, it is a mirror of the body, reflecting what you have eaten in the past 10 hours, how much you have moved, how well you have slept, and whether you have taken the right medicine. You're not afraid of it being tall, you're afraid of it being high, and you don't know why. So the smartest thing to do is not to panic or guess, but to check, memorize, and adjust by hand. As long as you are willing to put effort into it, even if you only change it a little bit at a time, it will accumulate and become your confidence in blood sugar stability. Next, let's talk about the last part, when you find out the problem, how to do it step by step, so that the blood sugar slowly goes back, without rebound and anxiety. Therefore, high fasting blood sugar seems to be a small problem, but there are actually a lot of details behind it. It's not that if you test more than 7, you should take medicine and reduce the amount of food, which is often counterproductive. The really effective method is actually the whole set we just talked about. Calm down first, and go through the possible causes from beginning to end. What did you eat at night? What is your blood sugar before bed? Did you get a good night's sleep? Have you caught a cold lately? Did you take the medicine on time? Was there even a day when you were lazy and didn't move? Together, these seemingly inconspicuous little habits are actually a flashback of your blood sugar the next day. Some sugar friends always feel that they are doing very well, but they panic as soon as their blood sugar comes up every day. To be honest, it's not that you don't work hard, it may be that you have gone astray. In fact, blood sugar is like a mirror. It won't lie to you, but it won't tell you why it's high. Why? You need to find out for yourself. As we just said, adding a nighttime blood sugar test, recording a few days of diet and exercise, and even asking yourself if you have been in a bad mood and stressed recently are all important clues to find the cause. The most fearful thing is that you don't check anything, don't record anything, just stare at that number, and then change it randomly. The amount of medicine will be increased and decreased for a while, and the amount of food will be more and less, which will make you upset, and your blood sugar will become more and more unstable. We don't control sugar by guessing, nor by starving ourselves ruthlessly, but by observation, logic, and law. Many people find it troublesome when they hear that they need to keep a blood sugar diary and measure their blood sugar at night. But if you think about it, is it worth the trouble? If you do this step more, you may be able to take fewer pills for a few years, see fewer emergency rooms, and suffer less from a serious illness. In the final analysis, diabetes is not controlled by medicine, but by yourself little by little, day by day. As long as you take the signals your body gives you seriously, and live your days in a rhythmic and regular manner, your blood sugar will naturally stabilize slowly. Don't think about immediate, but you'll find that as long as you go in the right direction and adjust the right adjustments, your blood sugar will give you back. Of course, if you can't find the problem yourself, don't hold on. Sometimes it's also a smart choice to go to a doctor and ask him to help you analyze. Especially if you organize these data, the doctor will know at a glance which step is wrong with you, and you can save several trips to the hospital and spend a lot of money. Some sugar friends say, "Doctor, my blood sugar is high," every time they see a doctor, but they can't tell what they ate at a specific meal, and they can't tell whether they have moved, whether they have insomnia, and the doctor can only give you the advice of, "Try it." And as a result, they will continue to be confused when they go home. We're here to live, not to gamble on luck with our bodies. So I especially hope that you can remember today's set of methods. It is best to collect it, and if you really don't remember it, you can compare it. You will find that sugar control is actually not that difficult. The difficult thing is whether you are willing to find a pattern and whether you are willing to spend a little more time taking care of yourself. If you think this issue is helpful to you, you are also welcome to forward it to friends who have similar troubles, or tell us in the comment area whether you have found out your own experience in fasting blood sugar control. Maybe your words can help others avoid a lot of detours. In short, high blood sugar is not terrible. The key is that you know what to do. Let's keep our hearts steady, use the right method, and we are not afraid of it jumping around. That's all for today's content, and we'll continue to talk about other details of blood sugar-related life in the next issue. Remember to follow the channel, and don't miss the practical dry goods. I wish you stable blood sugar and good health every day, and we'll see you next time.